Sarah, was blessed with the best husband and cursed with the worst mother-in-law. My mother-in-law, Kim, is one of the most cruel people I have ever met. She was so bad that even my husband, Rhett, and the rest of his family hated her. When I started to date Rhett, I always asked him why he hated Kim so much. He often avoided answering those questions. When he finally decided to speak about her, he said, "My mom is not a nice person, Sarah. I know you try to find good in everyone, but my mother is pretty much a bad person." "Why do you say that, Rhett? Did something happen?" "A lot of things happened, Sarah. She's a greedy and selfish person. Her overspending was a reason my dad divorced her. In fact, she even took out credit cards in my and my sister's names when we were young. My dad had to pay all those debts to clear our credit. Oh my God, Kim didn't even pay them back, but she lives in such a nice house and spends so much. That house was supposed to be my dad's. Mom threatened to cut us off from Dad if he didn't give her the house. The money she has is actually from child support payments from Dad. She rarely used them for us. Honestly, the way Kim had downright abused Rhett and his sister Rosie was horrible. I can't even write those things down without crying. It changed my views on Kim entirely. After meeting George, Rhett's dad, it was clear that Kim was the problem all along. That woman had robbed George of his money. Honestly, I was pretty sad about what had happened. Since Rhett had no real relationship with Kim, I didn't see or deal with her much before we got married. However, after we did get married, I got a first-hand experience of what she was like. Kim was constantly contacting Rhett for money. She manipulated and emotionally blackmailed him into sending her money. As a result, Rhett could barely afford to save money at all. Things got even worse when we decided to get a house. None of us had the means to buy a house outright, but we managed to live frugally and save enough money for the down payment. It was our dream home, and we fell in love with the place. However, this just made Kim even more greedy. She even had the audacity to show up at our house and say, "Hey, Sarah, nice house you got here. Did you manage to charm your way into my son's pocket? God, this house is big. We are both paying for this house, Kim. Besides, it's none of your business who this house belongs to." "Well, it is my business. If it's my son's, it's mine as well. Speaking of my son, I need him to send me money. Things are tight at home." "What? Are you serious? We sent you $2,000 this month. What did you do with them?" "What I do with the money is none of your business. Just tell him to Venmo me the money. Also, make sure he's not stingy this time." This was her behavior the entire time I knew her. She was super entitled and thought everything belonged to her. Hell, she even took money from Rosie and George every month. She did have a part-time job, but it didn't do much for her. I doubt it was even enough for a month of Starbucks that she drank all the time. Her luxurious lifestyle was costing others money. However, it didn't affect me because Rhett handled everything. Little did I know that soon she would become a nightmare for me. You see, about 2 years after we got married, Rhett passed away from a rare medical condition. It was sudden, and we didn't have time to save him. I was devastated and wanted to end myself. He was the love of my life, and I couldn't imagine continuing without him. Rosie and George were my rock during this time. They managed to help me stay sane while they grieved Rhett. Honestly speaking, it drew us closer. Only Kim was the one who didn't grieve at all. All she did was shed a few tears at the funeral. She never reached out to me or even helped plan the funeral. Kim was busy making plans of her own. As soon as the funeral was over, she said, "So now that the funeral is done and dusted, let's talk about the will." "What do you mean? Have some shame, Kim. You lost your son, and all you care about is the will. Tell me what to do. I need to know what I'm getting from his assets. You're getting nothing. How can you expect anything when you haven't been anything but a horrible mother to him? That can't be possible. I'll sue you if you don't give me my share. Most of his money was spent on his medical bills. Besides, he gave you so much money every month that he rarely had any savings. You have some nerve in wanting money even after everything. He owes the house you live in. I know that. I want my share of that. It cannot be all yours. The house is mine, and there is nothing you can do to change it. You better stay away from me. Rhett dealt with you with patience, but I won't. Well, I will get my fair share. Don't you worry. You will hear from me. Kim said that and left. I couldn't believe what she just did. It made me even more sad knowing Rhett's mother didn't care about his passing. I broke down again. However, there was worse news to come. When I went home after the funeral, I realized that someone had been in the house. I panicked and checked all my possessions. It turns out most of Rhett's things were missing. I couldn't even find his wedding ring. He gave me the ring back so I could have it as his memory, and now it was missing from the house. Even our wedding album was gone. I was on the verge of another mental breakdown and had no idea who did this. I knew it had to be someone close to us. Thieves would have stolen a lot more. In my head, there was only one person who would do this. It was then that I got a call from Kim. She said, "So now that you have had time to think, I will give you a chance. Sign over the share of the house." How are you still at it, Kim? That is never going to happen. You are still being stubborn, I see. Here's the thing, Sarah. I have Rhett's wedding ring with me, and I have the foresight to collect all his childhood items, along with your precious wedding album from the house. What? How is this possible? It was easy making a spare key from Rhett's house keys. I got in when you were busy crying over a casket. It's a shame, you know. You will bring those back, Kim. I'll tell the police. Yes, you can, but I would destroy them before the police come. They may catch me, but you will never get your precious items back. What the hell do you want? Sign over the house, Sarah. I want the entire house. Since you have been so cheeky with me, I'll give you back the items as soon as you sign the papers. She hung up on me after that. I was in utter disbelief. I didn't know what to do. Kim had taken all the precious things I had left of Rhett. I wanted those back. The house meant nothing to me. However, the more I thought about her behavior, the more I got mad. I knew I couldn't let her win. This woman not only destroyed Rhett's life, but also tried to blackmail me into getting the house. I wouldn't let her go easily. I immediately called George and Rosie to the house. I told them everything Kim had said and done. They were shocked and appalled by her behavior. George said, "I am ashamed I married someone like this. My son isn't even in the ground, and she has started her schemes again. How can she be so cruel?" Rosie added, "This is horrible. I'll go to her house and confront her. I won't let you sign away the house. You and Rhett have a lot of memories here. I wouldn't let this happen." "No, Rosie. If we confront her, Kim will try to destroy the items. I really need them back intact. I'll call her and tell her that I will sign over the house." "What? No, Sarah, you can't do that. That is insane." "No, Sarah, please don't give in to her evil plans," George pleaded. "Don't worry, guys. I have a plan. She has done a lot of damage in our lives. It's time to make her pay. She disrespected Rhett's memory and tried to steal my house. I won't let her go easily." I told them my plan, and they agreed to help me as I wanted. So I called Kim and told her to prepare the papers. I was ready to sign over the house to her. Kim was overjoyed at my surrender. She told me that the papers were being prepared and I would get them soon. The audacity of this woman was unbelievable. After a week, Kim called me to sign the papers. I went through the papers and took some time to read them. Then I told her that my lawyer had prepared papers of his own. I gave her those papers and told her to sign them. I said, "I've already processed the property papers and signed the documents he gave me. Here's the legal document that says you have accepted the gift." "Oh, do I need to sign this? I can't wait. Just tell me what to do." "You just have to sign these papers, that's all." "There, I have signed these papers and accepted your gift. So, I hope you can move out of the house this month. I'll slowly start shifting there. I need to make a lot of redecorations, so make it quick." "Don't worry, Kim. You'll have exactly a month to move into your new house. There will be no problems at all. See, it wasn't so hard, was it? You get the things you wanted, and I get the one I wanted." Kim was dumb enough to think I would just sign away the house. Well, turns out she was the dumb one. What Kim didn't know was that I had swapped the papers. I put my signatures on a fake document with gibberish written on them. She never read the papers she signed. Kim thought she was signing to accept the house as a gift. She'd like to find out how wrong she was. Kim was actually in for a big surprise. Kim, being the stupid and overconfident woman she is, decided to host a grand party. Turns out she spent most of her savings on this party. I guess she thought everyone would continue to fund her lifestyle. She even called me and said, "Hey, Sarah, I'm hosting a grand party this weekend. You know, your little gift has just made my life. So I'm going to invite everyone to tell them the good news. I want you to be present when I tell everyone about my new house." I'm happy for you, Kim. I must thank you for returning the items without a scratch. You know they were super sentimental to me. I will attempt to show my gratitude. That's wonderful. I can't wait to tell everyone about the house. They're going to be so jealous. I'm sure they will be super jealous. In my head, I was laughing hysterically. I was one step closer to taking my revenge. Kim held my late husband's memory over her head to take my house. I will never forgive her for doing this. I silently prayed to my husband's soul to help me get through this. I knew he would support me and enjoy serving justice. On the day of the party, I was a little anxious. However, Rosie cheered me up and said, "Don't be nervous, Sarah. We're here with you. It's about time Mom pays for her evil plans. I can't wait to see her face when she knows." I know Rosie. She had it coming long back. I just hope everyone sees what a monster she is. Everyone will be on your side when they hear the full story. You're a brave girl. My brother would be so proud of you. Hearing Rosie's words gave me strength. I was finally feeling confident and ready to face the fallout of today's event. We reached the party, and true to her word, Kim did throw a grand party. It seemed that she wanted this house and felt elated enough to celebrate it so grandly. My excitement just rose to see all these arrangements. There were a lot of people present. Most of them knew me and considered me their friend. I was happy to be around familiar faces. The true show began when Kim got up to raise a toast. Everyone was curious about why Kim threw such a big party, so they were eager to hear what she wanted to say. Kim said, "Thank you, everyone, for being here. This is a special day for me, and I wanted to share it with my close friends and family. You see, recently, I fulfilled a dream of mine, so this party is a celebration of my achievement." "Kim, why don't you just tell everyone what this is about? I'm sure they are curious to know what you have achieved to warrant a party." "Of course, I'll tell them, Sarah. It's rude to keep them in suspense any longer. Everyone, I have been given my dream home by Sarah. She graciously gave me her old home as a gift." I'm so happy she made such a big sacrifice. I have to thank you, Nirmi. Thank me for what, Kim? For being tricked into your scheme and signing away my house? Well, you are naive, you know. What do you mean I tricked you? Nothing like that happened. Everyone, I'm here to reveal something. Kim kept a few valuable possessions of my late husband and forced me to sign away the house. She blackmailed me by saying that she would destroy those items and make me suffer. Kim planned everything from the moment my late husband passed away. Everyone was shocked. They kept whispering among themselves. I turned to look at Kim, who had a rather nervous expression on her face. She said, No, Nirmi is just joking here. Nothing like that happened. She couldn't take care of such a big house, and the mortgage was too much for her, so she decided to sign it over to me. That is not true at all. Rosie and George know the truth. They will speak on my behalf. Naomi is right, Kim. You tried to blackmail Nirmi into signing away the house. We tried to stop you, but you didn't listen to any of us. Yes, that's right. You need to stop lying to everyone. All of you are traitors. I only did it for my good. I deserve the house. My son paid for it as well. That house should have belonged to me. Nirmi was dumb enough to discard the house for a few keepsakes. Are you that dumb, Kim? Did you think I would sign over my house to you? Everyone went silent. Even Kim looked very taken aback and was dumbstruck by what I said. George and Rosie were giggling in the background. Kim said, What do you mean, Nirmi? You should have read the papers you signed, Kim. You should have even brought a lawyer before putting your signature on something. I swapped the papers you signed. Here, take a look at what it says. Wait, this says I have signed over my house to you. How is this possible? I had a lawyer prepare the papers. No, this is fake. Don't you recognize your signature, Kim? Looks like someone got trapped in their own evil plans. Technically, your house now belongs to me, while my house still, fortunately, remains in my name. Here is your eviction notice. Your house belongs to me now, and I want you gone within a month. And don't even think about coming to us for money. We're done with you as well. You won't get a penny out of us. You should be ashamed of yourself. If you have any remorse, you won't darken my door again. No, this is not possible. You can't do this. Oh my God. Before she could complete the sentence, Kim simply fainted. I was super tempted to laugh at the scene. No one rushed to hold her. Everyone was throwing disgusted looks at her. Some even got up and left after giving me words of encouragement. No one defended Kim because they knew exactly what kind of woman she was. It was George who called 911 and asked for an ambulance. She was taken to the hospital for evaluation. I simply stayed at the party with Rosie and had a great time. Everyone present was criticizing Kim. They never liked her scheming ways. This time, they were happy someone stood up against her. The next day, I received a ton of calls from Kim. She was begging me to cancel the agreement and give her the house back. She even threatened to go to court. I simply said that she signed the papers out of her own will. There was nothing she could do. I also gave her a warning that I could legally kick her out of her house after a month. She again begged me to reconsider. Before the month was up, I was able to find a great buyer for Kim's home. They were a new couple and reminded me a lot of me and my late husband. So I finalized the offer and sold the house for a good sum. Kim blew up at me when she found out. However, she quickly backtracked when I threatened to call the police for harassment. Since she no longer had the money to deal with legal issues, she shut her mouth. George and Rosie later told me that Kim had been begging them to take her in. She was on the verge of homelessness and had no money. However, they were sick of her toxic ways and refused to support her again. Meanwhile, I have been slowly trying to get my life together. I was able to completely pay off my house with the proceeds from Kim's house. With the leftover money, I took George and Rosie on a vacation. I don't think I will ever date again, but it makes me glad to know that I can continue living in the house I shared with my late husband.